Hi, lovelies. Welcome to Managing My Money with Rosa. Today, we are going to stuff what's left of my paycheck, $1,468. If you're new here, my name is Rosa. My channel is all about my personal budgeting journey. It's about cash envelopes, sinking funds, savings challenges, how we stash our money, where we stash our money, why we stash our money. It is also a little bit about our investing journey. If any of that is of interest to you and you have not already, I'd really appreciate if you take a second, hit subscribe down below. If you are a subscriber, thank you so much for coming back and spending a little bit more of your time with me. I cannot tell you how much I appreciate it. And everyone, please take a second, smash that thumbs up button. All right, so we have actually made some changes to the budget recently. We have moved a handful of things around from what was coming out of my check that's now coming out of my honey's check. What was coming out of my honey's check is now coming out of my check, and just trying to make up some minor adjustments to get ready for things that we had been talking about moving around to start with. So that is why there is so much money to stuff today, because my check usually takes care of all of the bills. However, how we've swapped it around now, his check is starting to carry some of those heavy hitters. So just trying to rearrange some of our budget around. So the first thing we're going to start with are cash envelopes. This is an envelope that if you've been around for a while, you have not seen, and that's because this usually comes out of my honey's check. I do have a fast food envelope, which gets $120 every 2 weeks. We have $1 left. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12. And this lives in my wallet. It is very worn down. I've had to tape the bottom closed a couple of times, but this is now going to start coming out of my check, and the $120 that was coming out of my honey's is now going towards paying the mortgage and doing other things. So just making some changes. So we'll start to see this every 2 weeks on my check, and we'll just kind of stick that back there because that needs to go back to my wallet. And then gas is up next. Again, now all of these are coming out of my check where they were coming out of my honey's before. So gas gets 110, 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, and 100, or 10. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 10. This should be going towards our car maintenance. However, because it's been a weird switch up from his check to my check, really it's been 3 weeks since I put any money in here. I know that I have some credit card gas to pay for, so we're not going to move any of this around right now. Next week when we do it, we'll take care of moving that around. Groceries is going to get 360, 350, 60, so 1, 2, 3, 5, 6. I again know that I have to make a credit card payment for groceries that we spent the other day. So again, it's been really, it's a rough change for us just because it's been 3 weeks since groceries has gotten any money. So it's a little odd. Allowance for our youngest gets a 10. Paper products is going to get 15. We did spend all of this last weekend, went out and got a handful of things, and it is basically empty. Pet is going to get 15. And my honey just told me we needed to go get some bird food, so I know that a lot of this is going to get spent very soon. $20 cash for me. I've made a couple of Dunkin' runs and a couple of other things, so I know that I'm going to probably be spending most of this 40 that's in here. That is all right. It's what it's here for. And toiletries is going to get 15. I did have to spend some extra out of here the other day. We needed to get some additional sunscreen lotion, post lotion for my child, because he got himself crispy crittered burnt. All right, those are our cash envelopes. All right, let's put that there. Up next come our high priorities. Those would be all of these things right here. It's not a lot, but it still takes up a lot of money for us. So we're going to start with emergency. I used to do this slightly different. I break this up into 2 different places, but recently I have started, I have a new budget line. I used to put some of this towards our 3 to 6 month emergency fund, but have since started a budget line for it and now don't feel the need to pull it out of here anymore. So we should have 60 in here. 2, 3, 4, 45, 50, 55, 60. Emergencies is filled. Family birthdays come out of my check. $25 of every one of my checks comes into here. I find it easier to pull $25 out every check than I do to have to come up with a huge birthday sum. If you have birthdays that you like to spend money for, I might suggest that you also figure out how to budget for them throughout the year. So for us, this $25 really doesn't hurt a whole lot. So it's nice to be able to stash it up. We have 4 birthdays in a row. We have a March, April, May, and June. So to have to come up with $400 essentially every month out of the budget hurts a whole lot more than $25 for us. So I have 200 in here. 1, 2, 4, 6, 8, 90, 95, 200. Right. Car maintenance is another priority for us, so I did that one, that one. We're only going to put $5 into it. I do know that I'm about to wipe this out because I am in need of an oil change for my car, which brings us up to $255. And then my honey keeps talking how we need new tires for my car. So 10, 12, 14, 16, 18, 20, 22, 24, 25, that's $255. Love when it matches. Sometimes I make mistakes along the way and it doesn't. All right, up next is medical. So I know that I just went to get a massage yesterday, I think. So it's nice to know that I have the $40 to pay for it and still have a little bit extra in here, which brings us up to $55. Just trying to get my back and my leg in check again. And last is tag renewal. So we just recently got tags for both vehicles. However, I refinanced my honey's truck the other day. We were out of debt and then we got back into debt. And unfortunately, we did not put him on the new loan, and our loan provider requires us to change the title to just my name. So I now have an extra $70, almost $80 that has to come out of here. So we will keep this in the budget for a while. I'm kind of sad about it though. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 100, 5, 10, 15, 16, 17, 18, 118. But it's nice to know that I had that money in here as well. So all's all right with that. And those are our high priorities. We also have a couple coming in binders that are high priorities. So let me move that out of the way. The first is my child's school. So we put $70, 5, 10, 15, 20 into his binder every paycheck. Typically 50 goes into his lunch account so that I can take care of lunch, but there's $200. We're still in the summer, so we're not going to worry about that. We actually are trying to save up for back to school clothes. So I'm going to put another 50 in here, which brings us up to $240. 150, $220, $40. And then the rest of it kind of just gets sorted out. All right, so I think I'd like some for, what do I have in school supplies? I have 50 in there. I think we'll be okay. I think we'll do, what's in here? 25. We'll do 10 into here because I know we just went and got a haircut. So again, I've got to pay the credit card back. So there should be 35 in here. I think that honestly takes care of everything we did for his haircut. 20, 25, 30, 35. And then we'll do 5 more into his orienteering folder. All right. Which brings us up to 32 in here. 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 31, 32. Nice, nice, nice. Ooh, sweet. And I have an extra $5 left over. Where are we going to put that? We'll go ahead and do book list just in case he has any books we have to get for back to school. So we will put that into here. We'll try to get this up to $20 in case we need any books for school this year, which will bring us up to 5. All right, so that is for current year school. And then we have one more high priority, and that high priority right now is getting ready for my child's senior year. We just went and did senior pictures. Oh, that made it reality. But we are trying to get everything, have cash for all of the upcoming things for this year. So we currently have 2 budget lines for this. I know that sounds really odd. The first budget line, we're going to pull 220, 5, 10, 15, 20. So that's $220. This $220 comes from the debt that we paid off. So last year we paid off all of our debt, and then my honey's truck had some serious issues, and we just went ahead and got a newer truck for him. So right now, with graduation being the priority of getting everything filled in for my son's senior year, we're putting all of that extra money that was paying down debt into here for now. Once we get all of these filled, though, different story, it'll all go back and pile onto the debt. And then I have an actual budget line for his stuff, and that's another 5, 10, 15. Me and 20s today, or me and 50s today, are not agreeing. 1, 2, 3, 4. Where did I put another 50? Who did I give the other 50 to? That's where groceries. Wasn't supposed to give it a 50. That 50 was supposed to be. So we're going to pull $60 out of here, put a 50 and a 60, and when it was supposed to go to 46. Yes, it matters. I know it doesn't seem like it should, but it does. All right, so let's put that back into groceries. Now I have all my 50s to finish out the right way it should have been filled. All right, so now we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 2, 4, 6. So another $260 will come into here. Did I say they were all 20s? I did say they were all 20s. So altogether, that's 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35, 40, 400, 2, 4, 6, 7, 8, $480 to go in towards his graduation and all of his stuff. Oh, sweet. And there's some money already in here. Yay. Look at that. That's 600. Go us. Just trying to take care of this in large chunks so that we know we have all of it. All right, come mark these off. All of that's done. Score. All right. Up next, savings challenges that we are working on. So I have 2 envelopes. I don't have any money for that. Oh, how sad. I was expecting to pull out my son's binder and put an extra $5 or $10 in there. That's for his first car. That's not in the budget this time. That's right. It's one of those things I rearranged in my honey's check. It makes me so, it's going to take a while to get used to all of that. All right. So let's come look at our savings challenges. So I have a couple. So this is called the nickel challenge, and really it's for our 3 to 6 a month emergency fund. It now has its own budget line. So I'm going to put $5 in there. I also am working on a Save 2025 and 2025 challenge. That's going to get $60. And then the rest of these are ones that we are no longer doing, but I'm not willing to get rid of the note cards for it. So we'll stick that back into here. And then our 1 month ahead savings challenge. So exciting. We finished around Wednesday, a couple days ago. And now we're putting more money in here. We have $40 to come into here. So that is 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35. Can Rosa not count? Did I grab 5? Me and money today are just not being able to count. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30. Okay. And then I need $10 here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. That makes 40. So typically this budget line is $15, but our car insurance comes in a little less, and that extra money comes into here. But if I do remember correctly, I had a good bit of money in here. I was so stinking excited. So let's stick it all in here. Means next time we do our 1 month ahead, we're going to do some really good damage, yay, on filling up and a handful of icons will get taken care of. Love it. All right, let me come mark that off. I have money that I need to transfer to my stocks and money I need to transfer over to my IRA. And then because we changed things up with our budget, there are a lot of things here that are not going to see money anymore for a little while, just because they're now going from my honeys. So the first one we're going to actually put money in, and these are my sinking funds. Sinking funds are things that we are saving long term for, but aren't a priority, so they have to get money right now. But some of them I want to make sure continue to get money. One of those is hurricane supplies. 1, 2, 3, 4. It's going to come into here. We are into hurricane season and want to make sure we have some extra cash for it if we need it. So that gives us, so there was 39, that gives us 43, 20, 30, 35, 36, 37, 38, 39, 40, 1, 2, 3. All right. Land is still gonna try to get money every time still. It's not gonna be a lot anymore. We're only gonna put 5 in here this time. That's all we put in last time, it looks like, anyways. So that brings us up to 1125. Most of this money is in the bank, so we have 1100 in the bank. 25. Figure it may as well work for us. And then miscellaneous is the last one that's going to get money. I know that I have actually spent money on a couple of odds and ends things recently that don't have a category that I needed to pay for. So we're going to put 14 into here. 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. Plus that 5 will bring me up to 19. All right. And that is my $1,448. Poof, gone just like that. It amazes me every time how quickly, sometimes it feels like all of these how quickly the money goes, but with huge chunks going towards my child's senior year and then the groceries, it seems like there was a lot more here to start with than there really was. If you have any questions or just want to say hey, I'd love if you drop it down in chat, and I hope you have a great day. Bye guys.